before I go to bed, I just want to say absolutely fantastic win for John Ryder. I had a sneaky feeling earlier today that he was going to win this fight. Congratulations, John. It couldn't have happened to a better man, nicer man. You deserve it, mate. Good luck.
It's personal between me and you, and I'm going to do you some serious harm, you big stiff idiot.
The Untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing game's been missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, this is the official, the real, the one post-fight review in boxing that you people gotta hear. Okay, this is the official post-fight review for Daniel Jacobs versus John Ryder. John Ryder gets a split decision victory, but we sure as hell, and I'm not calling it controversial because really the only controversy in this fight is the fact that this fight was a split decision. John Ryder beat Daniel Jacobs convincingly, and the fact that I'm going on social media and I'm hearing people say, oh, the fight was close, oh, it could have went. No, that shit wasn't close. At the most, I mean, 116, 112. I scored at 117, 111, but if I want to be generous, I make it 116, 112 in favor of John Ryder. Now, I'll give my thoughts on the fight. I know people are going to have a lot to say to me in the comments because they had a lot to say to me on the live, but then they can't even tell you what the three scoring criteria of a round in boxing are. I digress. I'll pass it over to Pops. Pops, give me your thoughts on the fight.
Yeah, man.
Tell them what your scorecard was.
My scorecard was, final score was 7-5 Rock. I had it 7-5 Ryder.
115, 113.
In the beginning, I had it the first couple rounds for Jacobs, but Ryder turned on the inside game and was hitting him from the inside, getting the uppercuts in. So I started to see him get more fluidity. Yeah, fluidity throughout. The fight got comfortable, and it made Jacobs more uncomfortable. Yeah. And the punches that probably people didn't see or they disagree with us is the punches that I saw with my 4 eyes. Anyways, I think Ryder came in there. He took Jacobs out of his game plan, and he came out and did what he had to do, whereas Jacobs should have done better being in somebody else's backyard.
Absolutely. And I remember during the live, after 4 rounds, I remember you had it 3-1 for Jacobs. Yeah. See, Jacobs had a pretty sizable lead on this card after the first 4 rounds. I had it even. I had it 2-2. Really, most people aren't going to have the first 4 rounds 3-1 or 2-2 because a lot of people gave, I think, the first round or the second round a 10-10 round. I don't score 10-10 rounds ever. I don't do that. That's something I don't do. Someone's got to win a fight, so we're not doing 10-10 rounds. Right. Someone's got to win the round. So I had it 2-2. He had it 3-1. But it was like a regular John Ryder fight. Like, it was like the Rocky Fielding fight. It was like the Canelo Smith fight. The opponents do very good in the early parts of the fight. Mm-hmm. And John Ryder picks up the pace up. And he becomes the Guerilla. He gets in your chest. Is it pretty? No. Is it gonna sell a lot of tickets? No. But is it effective? Because at the end of the day, it's not about what I like, and it's damn sure not about what you like or what anybody else likes. It's not what I like either. It's about what's effective.
And I remember one time in the fight when I seen Jacobs switch from orthodox to
southpaw. He
was trying to figure him out, and even when he switched to southpaw,
getting out box.
John Ryder was catching him.
Getting out.
Then as the fight went on, what I seen more from Jacobs, anytime Ryder was coming inside getting those punches, you automatically try to hold.
Trying to hold him. And the thing
you guys, I don't know if you guys what channel you were watching, but from the other side, he was getting beat up by y'all.
And the thing is this, right? You got to ask yourself the question: who landed the cleaner, harder shots? It wasn't Jacobs. I mean, if you don't really watch boxing, you might say, well, okay, well, because some of these punches Jacobs were landing were missing by inches. I mean, Ryder, I got to give Ryder a lot of credit. Like, he doesn't get the credit he deserves for a lot of things. Like, he's a very crafty fighter. He was making these punches miss by inches, inches. And I could see how, like, some of these punches could seem like they were landing, but a lot of them weren't. And he wasn't getting credit for his defense from the commentators and from a lot of people.
They're really
I mean, Rosado, I mean, I like Gabe Rosado. I have the utmost respect for Rosado, but he's the wrong person to have scoring a Daniel Jacobs fight because he's going to want Jacobs to win because he wants his resume to look good. He wants to feel less bad about the fight that he should have won, and they didn't give it to him.
And then the friggin' reasoning he gave behind that was ridiculous.
He said, Jacobs won. I was giving Jacobs the round because he's a 2-time former world champion.
The turnover, come on.
Well, they got to do with what's happening in the ring today. That's nothing to do with it. So it's really a shame that John Ryder, he did a great job. It was a regular John Ryder fight. He gave away a couple rounds early, got better as the fight went on. But whether Jacob was an orthodox or whether Jacob was a southpaw, he did a great job of smothering the left and the right hand. depending on what stance he was in. He did a good job working on the inside and imposing himself on the fight. You know, a big part of boxing scoring, guys, is ring generalship. Where is the fight fought and how is it dictated? And you got to ask yourself the question, why on God's green earth is Daniel Jacobs the taller fighter? Why is he constantly finding himself with the gap closed on him with Ryder on his chest? And it's because Ryder was getting on the inside of Jacobs' arms and he was in his chest. And that was down to Ryder. It was the same thing that happened with Smith. You know, Ryder, in my opinion, and a lot of people's opinions, he clearly beat Smith. And the way I see it, he clearly beat Jacobs. I know the judges' scorecards disagree, but shit, man, how many times we watch the fight and the judges get things wrong?
Yeah, and it's not
it's ridiculous. Honestly, it's ridiculous. John Ryder is one of the most underrated fighters in boxing.
And this is not to put the darkness on
I'm not trying to hate on Jacobs
because he's a respectable fighter and everything. But when I watched him in the last couple of years and before that, he's never taken the fight to the fight.
Complacency.
Yeah, so he did this to himself. He knew when he was in somebody's backyard, he was supposed to do a little extra, and he just didn't do it because of the way the Guerilla fought.
This was an easy fight. This was an easy fight to predict this week, not because look, I'm a fan of both fighters. Like, let me get that established.
Yeah.
There's no reason for me to not like Daniel Jacobs, but like this fight was an easy fight to predict during the week because of the style matchup. Jacobs is a guy that, as he's been getting older, the punch volume has been decreasing fight by fight. He's become less of a volume puncher. He's fighting a guy in Ryder who likes to maul you, who's very physically strong. Even though he's short, he's compact. He's very physically strong. So I didn't see Jacobs being able to withstand Ryder coming on strong in the middle parts in the second half of the fight. And there were even some parts in the early part of the fight where I thought, you know, the rounds could have went either way. So Ryder was even nicking some of the early rounds of the first 6, because I've heard people say Jacobs just swept the first 6 rounds, and it's like, how do you say that? Mm-hmm. And it pisses me off with boxing, right? Because once you have a reputation about yourself, you can never shed that reputation in the ring. Like, Ryder is known as a pressure fighter, a short, stocky pressure fighter, and Jacobs is known as a technical boxer. So if people don't see John Ryder go out there immediately and become the Guerilla, they just assume he's losing the round and that Jacobs is in control. And that's not true. There were rounds where Jacobs would box and move and he would have some success, but then Ryder would come and pot shot him, and Ryder would jab him, and Ryder would do a good job of smothering him.
But if you guys got persuaded by the media and
it's sad. It's really sad.
The British commentary was bad. Like, the whole time I listened to it, I was like, are these guys serious? They're making it sound right like he's losing the whole fight.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't be that way. You got to call it the way it is. If you lose your job, at least you know your integrity of the game is right there.
And it's absolutely sad because, you know, John Ryder's been a guy that's been, you know, on the wrong side of a couple of decisions against Callum Smith and Rocky Fielding. You know, he's really a guy that's world championship quality, but because he has the losses he has on his record, people had the audacity to flap their gums and fix their lips and say that he's an average domestic level British fighter. Now, let me be honest with you guys. Most of you guys make that statement don't even watch enough British boxing to know what an average domestic British level fighter even looks like to begin with. So you can't tell me that John Ryder is an average domestic level British fighter. John Ryder is better than a lot of guys that you hype up. People, I mean, has an underrated jab, physically strong, very durable.
The media, British media, all the media has not shed the light off of him.
He has a great gas tank. He gets stronger as the fight goes along. I mean, there's a lot of things.
I mean, like I said, I love Jacob. I like the story. And
came a long way in his life. Can't hate on him.
But at the same time, you gotta. That's why we call it the true school sports league. We say it the way it is. I respect you guys' opinions, but the reality is the Guerilla came out tonight.
And you know what? I know I'm gonna get a lot of people that have negative things to say about me, but it's okay. That's never bothered me a day in my life. It's just boxing talk at the end of the day. You know, I'm very secure with who I am, and you know, it is what it is. But like, it's just really sad. This should really be a celebration of John Ryder and the performance he had, but instead we're gonna get people who are bitching and moaning about a fighter getting robbed when in all reality, let's just be real. And if Daniel Jacobs can be honest with himself, all right, these last couple of fights, since the Canelo fight, like with Rosado and now with John Ryder, he's been boxing complacent. He's been a complacent fighter. He hasn't gone in there to try to impose himself on the fight. And okay. And if I'm wrong, and if Jacobs has been trying to impose himself on fight, then what that means is he's washed up and he's past it.
Yeah,
So it's one of the two. Either he's being complacent. You got to accept one of the two. Either he's being complacent and he's not trying his best and he's not trying to impose himself in the fight, or he just doesn't have much more of himself to give and he's past it. There's no problem with that, but just acknowledge that.
I just think that from all the experience that Jacobs has had and going across the pond in somebody else's backyard, he had to do a little more extra.
This man,
he had to do a little extra. He didn't do that. He allowed the pressure from a smaller guy come in and cut his.
But it wasn't just that.
I give him that.
He was getting out boxed.
Yeah.
He was getting out fought. He was getting pushed back, and people just seemed. I really like.
One time, I seen when John Ryder actually came and put that pressure on him, and Jacobs was holding him like this. He threw like 3 in a row uppercuts. Boom, 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 and then hit him back. So you gotta give credit where credit is due. That's the reality.
So look, you guys can love what I'm about to say, hate what I'm about to say, but you're gonna listen to what I'm gonna say. Listen, I'm not trying this isn't about Canelo, but I'm gonna use Canelo to make my point. You guys, you people out there who have Canelo pound number 1 and talk about how he's the greatest Mexican fighter who ever lived, you constantly bring up fighters like Daniel Jacobs and Callum Smith, and you say that they're great wins for Canelo Alvarez, right? But then when John Ryder fights these guys and he beats them, because he did beat Jacobs and he did beat Smith. Even though they gave it to Smith, he beat Smith. He should have been Ring Magazine lineal champion. He's the uncrowned Ring Magazine lineal super middleweight champion. Really, in all reality, you guys will discredit John Ryder. You will say he's an average domestic level British fighter, but then you'll turn around, you'll fix your lips, and then you'll say that Callum Smith and Daniel Jacobs are great wins for Canelo Alvarez, and this makes him number 1. It makes no sense. But you know what? Boxing is a sport that's subjective. A lot of things don't make sense. What I'm saying probably doesn't make sense to you guys because a lot of you guys probably just don't understand. You guys don't know how to handle the truth, but it's okay. The truth is, John Ryder is one of the most underrated fighters at 168. He will beat a lot of your favorite fighters at 168. And you know what? I'm gonna say this. Pops, I criticized Canelo Alvarez a lot on this channel. This fight, I believe, was a WBA eliminator.
Yeah.
So as I've suggested it in live this week, if John Ryder wins, maybe he might get a Canelo fight at Wembley Stadium or something like that. And they mentioned it in the post-fight interview. If Canelo Alvarez picks John Ryder next, I will not have one singular bad word to say about it.
Right.
Because unlike, these guys that you guys hype up, I won't name no names, but you guys know what I'm talking about. Like, I like Bivol, but Bivol's been elevated to WBA. He was elevated to WBA franchise champion. He didn't earn the belt in the ring. He legitimized himself later on, but he didn't earn the belt in the ring. He was elevated to it the same way Haney was given a belt, the same way Thurman was given a belt. But nobody talks about that. You guys talk about Benavidez. And, Benavidez, he had a close fight around Guerilla. I'll even go as far. I'll use Demetrius. I like Andre. You guys know how much I like Andre, but Andre hasn't been able to get the fights either. He had a close fight with Kolke and Vanes Martirosyan that where he didn't look his best, and he's kind of hurt himself at times with his own performance. So there's a lot of fighters in boxing that get hyped up, but then you disrespect a guy like John Ryder who's been putting work for years. When he fought Billy Joe Saunders for the British title, that was a competitive fight. A lot of people thought. I thought he beat Rocky Fielding. I thought he beat Callum Smith. I thought he beat Danny Jacobs. But it just goes to show me one error in boxing scoring these days. You know what that is, Pops? People don't value body work. They don't value body work. They never value body work. And it's okay. They don't value the body work. Apparently, they don't value jabs either, or uppercuts, or straight left hands, or right hooks, because these are all the kinds of punches Ryder was landing in. Doing well while doing it. So listen, I personally hope, just for the ridiculousness that I'm hearing from these boxing fans, that Canelo Alvarez fights John Ryder. Not just because, I think Ryder deserves it. Well, yeah, no, because Ryder deserves it. Because Ryder is one of the most underrated fighters at 168, and he's been getting screwed for years. And now when he finally wins a big fight, you guys want to sit here and cry rivalry. It's ridiculous.
Right, 12 years, and he could have had it sooner, but because of the politics and everything in boxing. So, to me, today, the flowers go to John Ryder on my behalf, the Guerilla. I'll also give was credit to
credit to Jacobs. He went in there, he fought. It takes two to tango. It was a good fight. I liked it.
To win, and then I really didn't like when he walked off the ring like a sore loser.
Yeah, so
I didn't like that at all. Today belongs to Ryder, and no matter how we want to sugarcoat it, how we want to slice it, the bottom line is, the result was Ryder won the
So
fight.
look,
And check out, you see what Fury said, right?
yeah, you saw Fury said in the beginning of the video. But listen,
Anyway.
if Ryder can't get the fight against Canelo next, but I know it is a possibility.
Yeah.
I hope Canelo does bless him, because Ryder does deserve that payday. He does deserve a chance to fight Canelo. And Ryder, I'll be honest with you, Ryder would put up a better fight. He would put up a better fight than Yildirim. He would put up a better fight than Fielding, and he would put up a better fight than Smith. A lot of guys that Canelo's been fighting recently.
Yeah.
Ryder would be, and it will be an exciting fight, because I don't think Canelo's fought anybody as physically strong as John Ryder in a long, long time. So it'd be a good fight. But if he can't fight him, I know David Morrell is looking for a big step up fight. He's WBA regular champion or interim champion. Let David Morrell get a crack at John Ryder. That was a fight that was discussed. Some people say that he ducked David Morrell Jr., so I like that fight. Let's see if David Morrell can handle the physical strength of John Ryder. He's been knocking everybody out. Let's see if he can knock out John Ryder, because nobody's done that so far, and that'd be a statement for David Morrell if he could do it. But listen, this night is John Ryder. I want to tip my cap. I know a lot of people are taking this time to shit on him and say that he won and all this stuff. I'm not doing that. John Ryder clearly won this fight.
Shout out to you.
He deserves it. It was an underrated performance, and that's what it is. So you guys can love it. I hope you do.
How you say it, man?
If you hate it, cool.
How you say it? You love me?
You can love me, you can hate me. But I'm just kidding from Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys. Thank you for watching another video on True School Sports, the home of boxing. If you made it this far, do me a favor and do yourself a damn favor. Hit that subscribe button, and surely you will not be disappointed. True School Sports bringing you the latest and greatest, the untouchable, boxing content, interviews, news videos, breakdowns, live fight reaction extravaganza. We've got a great community of people here, boxing fans all over the world, from America to the UK to Australia, and on and on and on. So join the empire today. Hit that subscribe button. Take care and God bless.